Welcome to another beautiful day in the land of music. My name is Douglas, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the arpeggiator in the M Audio Oxygen Pro Mini. Now, if you're brand new to this channel, what I do is just go through the features of different controllers, keyboards, synthesizers, talk about all things music. If you're brand new and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like this video if you found it helpful at the end, and if you've got any questions at all, throw them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. So this is really kind of the last video in the series I'm doing around the Oxygen Pro Mini, at least for now. I've already gone through scale mode, chord mode, how to get this set up and plugged in with your computer, set up with Pro Tools as a DAW. There's a lot of instructions out there for other DAWs. So if you're looking for those, check out some of the other videos I have on this controller. But today we're gonna talk specifically about the arpeggiator. Now, if you're just getting into this controller and you're wondering how to use the arpeggiator, or you're looking to buy a controller and this is one of the ones you're scoping out, so you're curious on what it can do, what its capabilities are around the arpeggiator. So hopefully this video is helpful for either of those cases, but let's jump right in and talk first about where the arpeggiator is located, what features it has, and what I've done is just called up the hybrid instrument that comes included with the Oxygen Pro Mini. And what I've done is pulled up the standalone version of this virtual instrument, and I've pulled up a sound here, sound number 53 PWM Pluck Poly. I really like that sound. It's got a nice little like plucky sound to it, and I think it'll sound good with the arpeggiator. I've got my tempo set at 120 beats per minute. We're gonna leave it at that, and then we'll talk about time division here in a minute. But the arpeggiator lives over here, and you can see we've got arp and latch. So the arpeggiator can operate in two different modes. One, if we just turn our arpeggiator on and maybe play an A minor chord, as soon as we let the notes off, the arpeggiator stops. If we turn latch on, self-explanatory here, but it's gonna latch those three notes I'm playing. It's gonna continue those till I either play another set of notes like an F major, right? And then as soon as I press the latch button, the arpeggiator turns off. So those are the two different modes. One with just the arpeggiator where it plays the notes you're playing. Latch will play the notes continuously until you play another set of notes or until you turn latch off or the arpeggiator off. So that's arpeggiator. That's how you turn it on. That's how you use it. And basically out of the gate, we've got just down, 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 down. It's just doing an up pattern. So if we go in and hold shift, remember the labels underneath the buttons to access those functions, we have to hold shift. And we tap the arpeggiator button, and that's gonna bring up our arpeggiator menu. Number one, we've got, as with any setting, chord mode, scale mode, anything like that, we have the channel that the notes get sent out on for the arpeggiator in this instance. We've got this set to global. We could click down on our encoder. We could scroll through the different options here for channels. We're gonna leave it on the global channel. If you wanna change that, you can go into the global menu and access the global MIDI channel there. The next option here, if we scroll to the right, is our type. So this is the arpeggiator type. Now with arpeggiator on, I can play that same A minor chord. And you'll notice that it's just doing an up pattern. So it plays the notes up and then starts over. I could press down on the encoder and let's change that to down. So now it starts with the top note I'm holding and it plays those down. We could go in here and change it to inclusive. So what it's doing there is it's gonna go from the lowest to the top and then the top down. So it's basically doing an up down in a way, but it starts with the down. We can change this to exclusive. And what this is gonna do is it's going to play that same up down pattern, but instead of doubling up the notes on each end, it's just alternating between those. So the difference between inclusive, so it would be, if I turned arpeggiator off, up would be, down would be, inclusive would be, so it doubles the top and the bottom notes. Exclusive would be, so you get the idea there. We can change those. Order is gonna play them in the order that I play the notes regardless of so if I play, let's say this middle note first, Now it's going to alternate in the order that I press those notes. And obviously it's a little bit hard if you're playing chords to actually like purposely hit certain notes first, but rather than always starting with the lowest note you've played to the highest, as in the up, or the highest to the lowest in the down, it's going to play them in the order that you actually triggered those notes. We can go in here and choose random. And what that's going to do is it's just going to go through and play a random pattern regardless of the notes I pressed or anything like that. It's just gonna, kind of like the random mode in chord mode, it just plays random arpeggiating types while I'm playing those notes. The last option we've got here is chord, is just gonna do almost like a note repeat. So that is the type. Octave is how many octaves the arpeggiator spans. We could change that from 0 up to 3. So 0, 1, 2. So in chord mode, it's actually taking these notes and it's playing 4 octave versions of them at the same time. If we go into the order and let's just do up, and then we go back to our octave, it's going to run through 4 octaves of that up of those 3 notes I'm playing. So we can use that. Obviously, when we have our time signature set to quarter notes, it's taking a while to get up there, but I'll show you that here in a minute. If we scroll to the right, we've got gate and swing. Now, gate is how much of the note that arpeggiator plays. So if we bring the gate all the way down to, let's say, 20%, it's playing a very short note. So it's very short. If we increase that gate, it sustains those notes much longer as it plays those in the arpeggiation cycle. I'm gonna bring that back to 50. And then swing is how much the notes swing out of the normal time. So 50% is the normal, but we can bring that up to 75%. And that allows a percentage of swing outside the normal tempo with the notes that you're playing. So now let's talk about time division here. So we can change that with these pads down here, and we can access this by holding Shift and then tapping on the pads corresponding with quarter, eighth, 16th, or 1/32. So let's play the arpeggiator and latch this. So we've got just a quarter note time signature, and let's change that to an eighth note. 1/16th and 1/32. So what we can do there is now we can control how many times that arpeggiator cycles within a measure of our tempo. So again, if we play our notes, and there you go. So we did all of that from the arpeggiator edit menu, but let's take a look at the knobs up top here. You can see we have this quick function for ARP here underneath the knobs. So let's turn latch back on. Let's play this A minor again. And now let's hold Shift and we can tweak these knobs to actually change the different parameters of our arpeggiator. We can go in and change the octave, change the gate, and then the swing. All without having to go into a menu. We can bring this back, bring this back. And there you go. We've tweaked all of the arpeggiator functions without even touching the edit menu very quickly by just going in, holding Shift, and hitting these knobs at the top here. Really cool that we're able to do that. You can use the arpeggiator in a lot of different ways within your music production. An arpeggiator is not very forgiving when it comes to going out of time. Your arpeggiator is going to stay within perfect time throughout the entire song. So especially when you're playing live, I've run into issues where someone will be using an arpeggiator or I'll be using an arpeggiator and the band won't actually stay perfectly in time, and your arpeggiator starts to get out of sync very slowly sometimes, but it can get out of sync. So one little tip when you're recording with an arpeggiator is use a metronome and really pin down the tempo of your song that you're producing, because the arpeggiator, again, is going to show any little sway outside of tempo is going to be noticed by your arpeggiator. It can also be really good because it can kind of help keep you in time. If you're recording and you're kind of new to recording, you can use the arpeggiator not as a metronome, but almost as like a little bit of some sounds to help keep you in time. And it can really kind of tighten up your mix. So there's benefits to it. It can be really cool when you add it into your mix. And hopefully this helped you, whether you're trying to learn how to use the arpeggiator, or again, if you're looking to pick up a controller and you say, hey, the Oxygen Pro Mini might be a good fit for me, check it out. If you've got questions, throw those in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired and keep making that music.